The No New Friends podcast is brought to you by the personal injury attorneys Kaufman and Lind at whenyouneedus.com. If you're injured in a car accident or any other injuries, give them a call 407-706-3535. That's whenyouneedus.com. Yeah, luckily her husband or boyfriend or fiance or some guy she's hooking up with was there to take the kid. And so then the other kid's like bathing in the hand sanitizer. Like she's completely lost control of the situation. And the best part about it for me as an innocent bystander is they get back in line. Well, now this kid's bored because like his brother's not screaming. So now, he's going to get all the attention. He starts pulling his mom's bikini bottoms down. So,
wow.
I got a full moon while I was waiting for my blue moon.
And now it's time for the No New Friends podcast with Scott, Mary, and Chris.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
That's right. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast, voted number 1 by our friends and family. We are the podcast for adults who like to laugh at adulting. If you'd like to connect with us, check out our sweet merch or become a Clubhouse member. That's a friend with benefits. That's our Patreon. Just check out our website, www.nonewfriendspodcast.com. And by becoming a Patreon member, you can watch us as we record live. And let me tell you, they're a mess. They're really funny. Mary's facial expressions during my awkward jokes are priceless. You don't want to miss that at all. Now, I've been telling you have till August 31st to vote for us for Orlando Weekly's Best of Orlando competition. Guess what? I don't know how to read. That competition's over. So we'll find out if we won on August 31st. Brilliant.
Wow.
Don't forget, hashtag share the show. That's right. Just share one of our episodes on Facebook. The link to the episode, tag us, and you're going to get entered into a drawing to win a $50 Visa gift card. Also, the Journey of merch. And that's going to, the share the show's running until October 31st. And then the Journey of merch, either a shirt or a magnet. No New Friends podcast shirt or magnet, not a Got Meth one. Take a picture of it either on a cool celebrity or in a cool place. Tag us on Facebook, and we'll decide if the best one, and then you can win a $50 Visa gift card. My name is Scott. I am the host. With me, as always, my co-host. I'm an architect for her pain. Not only is she the queen of quarantine, she's the queen of awkward encounters, Mary.
Mary.
And our other co-host, he's a LinkedIn expert, our scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris.
You're a fake and a phony, and I wish I never laid eyes on you.
Oh my God, you're fake.
Grease.
Yes.
It is Grease. It is Grease. Very good. R.I.P. Olivia Newton-John. It's been a rough week, man. And then Anne Heche died like 8 times this week. Nobody knew if she was alive or dead.
I know. Yeah. I got the notification saying she was taken off life support. It's like, wow, that's 3 days later than I thought, actually.
Right.
She died on Friday, right?
No.
No, it was
she
like
died
yesterday.
Two nights ago. Yeah,
Oh,
2
yeah.
nights ago.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Here's the explanation on this.
Well, I feel like an asshole.
Right? In the state of
she did it to
California,
herself, I think.
She did kind of do it to herself. Anyway, in the
Yeah.
state of, this is why taking care of mental health is very important. And if you suffer from any type of mental health issues, please seek a counseling, a professional. It's a serious thing. Anyway.
I thought it was just drugs. Wait, hold on. I thought it was just drugs. It was mental health?
Well, I mean, there's got to be some mental health to do the amount of drugs that she was doing and then driving.
I guess so.
There's all a connection. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not.
Someday we'll find it.
Yeah, I guess we'll.
So in the state of California, once you are pronounced brain dead, you are legally dead. So that's why they said that she died on Friday, because they were keeping her on life support to be able to see if there was any viable organs.
She was an organ donor. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Exactly.
Wow.
So
okay.
That's why nobody
Yeesh.
actually knows when she died. It was very, very confusing. In California, she died when she became brain dead. In red states, she's still alive, but can't have an abortion. So, very confusing times we live in.
All of this is fine.
Anyway,
Okay.
so last week I realized.
Wait, I'm sorry. I gotta get you off for a second because I'm just thinking about this. I'm thinking about this, right? She's a drug addict, right?
Yes.
So it's
allegedly.
like-
there were drugs.
Right. Well, when you die through drugs, I feel like you probably it's not your first time, probably, right? So it's like,
Right.
all right, she's an organ donor. It's like, can you imagine, like, hey, we have an organ for you. Oh, it's wonderful news. It's Anne Hench. It's whatever her name is, Anne Hench.
And
And then you're like, oh, so it's like a
Well, I'm
crack
glad
addict,
it's not
so.
Anne Hesh. Oof, I wouldn't have wanted hers. Glad it's that other Anne that you just mentioned.
So it's like you just read the news about her. You just read the news about her, right? She's got an accident, a drug overdose.
And then they call and say that there's a kidney available.
Yeah, it's like, do you pass on that? Like, can we detox the kidney first? Like, what do you do in a situation? I guess it's safe, or maybe it took so long because they were looking for which ones were pure.
Right.
I don't know. How does that work?
Or maybe like because like they kept her on life support for so long, it cycled out and she didn't have to go through the withdrawals and stuff
No,
because she was
I
brain dead. She didn't know.
I don't.
I know.
But
I'm wondering. I don't know.
Everything that's being discussed right now is not.
I know.
This is
Here's the
horrible.
thing. Here's
But I'm
what I
curious.
need. I know. Here's what I need to know, though. I need more information on this because, okay, so she slams into the house. House is
Yes.
engulfed in flames. They thought there's no way that anybody survives that. So she was in the burning car for like an hour. Okay.
Oh.
So they pull her out.
Oh, so she
is-
was on like that Florida meth then.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah,
She made
yeah.
it. She survived.
She
got
Mary.
that
This is
good,
where
good.
this thing gets crazy. She is sitting
Yeah.
up in the gurney talking to the paramedics. So how do you go from sitting on the gurney talking to paramedics to brain dead?
Are you
I
serious?
want
That
to
really
know
happened?
what happened. Yeah, absolutely, 100% serious.
Well, I would assume like a brain hemorrhage is what would occur. Like it probably just needed time to get worse. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
she
don't
had
know.
very desirable organs and there was a hit.
maybe there was a hit. For
I like that.
desirable organ.
Chris's conspiracy corner is back.
Back. It is
Ooh,
back,
it's
baby.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
So last week, I had a really cool thing. Rachel and I had an event to go to at Hollywood Studios at Disney, and we decided to make kind of a little staycation out of it. And I realized how brilliant. We all know that my wife is one of the smartest humans that we know personally. I didn't realize how deep this brilliancy goes. Okay, so Mary, the whole plan was she's going to get off of work at like 10 a.m. We're going to go to Animal Kingdom pregame before this event in the evening at Hollywood Studios. And we've got a room at the Animal Kingdom Lodge for 2 days. And then on Tuesday, we're going to do a pool day. And then Tuesday night, we're going to go see the fireworks at Magic Kingdom. It was this whole plan.
Sounds like a lovely getaway.
Right. So at 10:30, she texts me. This is when she's supposed to be leaving work. And she says, hey, I'm going to be here a little bit later. And I'm like, I knew that. I figured that was going to happen. No big deal. I still have this because I knew she was going to be late. So she leaves work at about 1 o'clock. We're still good. Well, no, it was about 12:30. So we're still good. Okay. She can come home. We finished packing the toiletries and the chargers and stuff, and we go. Okay. So she gets home and she's in the worst mood. Like the worst mood ever. So this is when I have to tread lightly, Mary, because you know me, I pout. I pout if I don't get my way. But I know that if I could send her spiraling to the point where she's like, you know what, just go without me. You know, I could very well see her saying, call Mary. Mary can just go with you. Like, that's where I have to like teeter. You're making a face. You want me to push her over the edge next time, don't you?
Well, only because I didn't get my best friend's day. I want my reparations.
So we're going. She's stomping around the house, and she's in a really bad mood because
But why?
just her work.
She had a rough day.
She had a rough day at work.
So why didn't you have the toiletries already done? You were home for an extra 2 hours. What were you doing?
No, I was. Everything else was okay. Typically, this was a win for her. Typically, she has to pack for me because I'm a man child. But I had it all taken care of.
Oh wow! You packed your own. Congratulations!
I know.
I'm so proud of you.
Celebrating mediocrity.
Turning a new leaf.
Forgot to say, if you're listening on Glacier FM, welcome and happy Thursday. So I'm watching her tiptoe or stomp around the house, and I'm like, okay, I've got to figure out how to, because I want to move this along And I'm like, hey, you know what? Why don't you, let me finish packing. Why don't you lay down for a minute? And she's like, no, I just want to get this done. And I'm like, oh God. So it's going to be a miserable evening now. It's going to be a miserable evening. So finally, like the storm clouds come in. I'm like, you know what? Let's just skip Animal Kingdom. And why don't you lay down and take a nap? And she looks outside. She goes, I think I'll do that. This is what makes her brilliant, because she knew if she would have just come home and said, hey, can I take a nap? And can we delay the start of our evening? I would have thrown a fit and I would have pouted. So you know what she did, Mary? She made it my idea. She stomped around so much, being pissed off that it was my idea to delay the evening and her take a nap.
It is brilliant. But let's just pause. Let's take a step back. This is unhealthy communication, Scott. Okay. She should be able to say, I'm tired. Please do not pout. Go wood chip a cheese stick and I'll see you in 45.
Well, and the thing is you're right. And we talked about it during the weekend. Because I told her, finally, when she was in that happy place, because we're at Disney, I finally told her, I was like, you're brilliant, because you stomped around all pissed off and waited for me to make it your idea to take a nap. I'm like, so, kudos to you. One gold star.
But do you also a little bit feel good because you figured it out? You're
I did.
I know your game, so I'm going to give myself a gold star also, what you've done. So tell us about the sides. I'm just going to tell us about that.
Well, let me tell you. So we ate at Boma twice. We went to Boma for dinner. Yeah, we went to Boma for dinner.
I'm gonna stop you. I want to go back because when we went, I was so exhausted that I couldn't eat.
Yeah,
I paid for that entire, whatever, and I ate a plate of rice and I think a little bit of soup.
But I just
couldn't. No, it was a different.
Gosh.
I don't know. It was whatever gluten-free option.
Really
I don't know.
I know.
I don't know. There were so many options, and they gave me a sheet of gluten-free delicacies I could ask them for, and I was too tired to even do that. I couldn't do it. So I want to go back so I can just. I want to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing about eating at Boma before this event. So the event starts at 7, okay, and we're leaving the house to go straight to Animal Kingdom Lodge and check in, and my wife, who never eats, she's only hungry when I want to be somewhere, and it's going to delay me being somewhere. That's the only time she's hungry. So I'm tiptoeing that line of just go by yourself and just giving in and not getting my way. So we ate at Boma, had a amazing dinner. Boma is a great fit. I don't like buffet places, but Boma was fantastic. Went to this event at Hollywood Studios, had a great time, took a minivan and paid 4 times the price of a Lyft. Because if you're staying on property, you can do the minivan, which is it's owned by Lyft, or it's partnered with Lyft. So a Lyft from Hollywood Studios to Animal Kingdom Lodge was $11. Mary, guess how much the minivan Lyft was from Hollywood Studios to Animal Kingdom Lodge?
$44.
$44 exactly.
You said 4 times.
I did say 4 times.
I just used my context clues.
Way to go on the math.
Thank you.
So we had a great time at Animal Kingdom Lodge. We had Savannah View. Well, we had what's called Savannah View, and this is where my entitlement kicks in. Animal Kingdom Lodge is not cheap, okay? And I'm out of what do you got?
It's already funny to me because you're they call it Savannah View, but really it was just a palmetto bush in Florida. It's the parking lot with a couple of raccoons.
Well, that's the thing, Mary, is there is parking lot view, and I felt bad complaining about my view because
somebody requests that.
One guy says, "Yeah, I've got the parking lot." I'm like, ooh, sorry, man.
Oh man.
The main Savannah View is this huge open area where you've got the giraffes and the wildebeest and the zebras and all that, almost coming up to your room. Well, I got the very end of this horseshoe where I see a service fence. I can hear Expedition Everest, and I have 3 animals chilling. That's it. I'm like, man. And I'm bitching about this.
I think it's cool that you had some animals chilling there, though. What animals were they?
it was like a wildebeest and like a little deer or something. Some other I don't know. They didn't have plates saying these are what animals you're seeing. There was no placards or anything like that. So I'm complaining and because I was so excited about this, and I was so excited about, hey, showing Rachel this really cool experience, the Savannah View and all that. And here we are, like the horseshoe, like the end of the horseshoe. And it's like, meh, meh. But as the day went on in the morning and all that, a lot of animals, they moved throughout the savannah throughout the day. So we did get a giraffe up right in front of our room, some zebras.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got some really cool pictures. Yeah, it was really, really awesome. But for a moment,
what? I hope your horseshoe sucked because now I'm jealous. You didn't get to touch them? What happens if you try to touch them?
You get kicked out and trespassed off a Disney property. No, Mary,
don't try to touch them, but you might as well just try to ride it then. Like just jump over and get it.
Here's the thing: is there's no way you could do that. They are close to you, but they are way too far to the room to even jump over to them. Like there's a good 50 feet more between your room and like their electric fence or whatever that they can't cross.
They keep them in an electric fence?
That's lame.
It's not. It's just a deterrent. It's not an electric. I don't know what it is. It's just a deterrent. It's not electric. Don't
Woogie.
But yeah, so that was so much fun, and we went to Magic Kingdom, saw the fireworks. We did have a pool day, and I'm standing in line at the pool bar, and there's this mom there with two of her kids, and the one kid is just screaming. Like clearly he's got like chlorine in his eye or something. Like
no, it's because he saw the creepy guy with the fedora from the park.
He asked me if I wanted a Mickey ice cream.
That's the guy who ate all my SpongeBob ice creams.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
That's funny. It could have been, but it's something with his eyes. His eyes were irritated or whatever, and his mom's like, yeah, he hasn't been in the pool in like 30 minutes. So this kid's like screaming. It's like super, like even dramatic for me. So finally, like this mom, as they're making her drinks at the bar, like this is what she's waiting in line for, is the bar. She like brings the kid and like opens the pool gate and just puts him in the pool gate area. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like she just dropped him off, like just see ya. Luckily,
how
like
old was the kid?
7, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know. 6
I
or
respect
7.
that move. That's old enough.
Yeah, she needed to get her
Slap
drink.
some swimmies on little Johnny and just throw him in.
Yeah, luckily her husband or boyfriend or fiance or some guy she's hooking up with was there to take the kid, and so then the other kid's like bathing in the hand sanitizer, like she's like completely lost control of the situation. And the best part about it for me as an innocent bystander is they get back in line. Well, now this kid's bored because like his brother's not screaming, so now he's gonna get all the attention. He starts pulling his mom's bikini bottoms down. So
wow.
I got a full moon while I was waiting for my blue moon. It was
I appreciate that, but also as a woman who wears bikinis, it's horrifying, y'all. It's hard out there for a player. Let me explain. I've experienced similar situations, and it's not fun. Like, so I thought it would be fun to try to surf. I'm not great, but it worked fine. It was okay. I got up. I was up. My entire top was not. The whole top just gone.
Fantastic.
Gone. No, it's not. Things like that happen all the time. It's not. Whenever
Why do you think I used to stand at the bottom of Der Stuka at Wet and Wild and just wait, just pray to the water park gods?
Well, let me tell you, the girls' weekend we went on, Zoe and I were just splashing around, and she just looks over and she's like, "Mom," like pointing at a nip, and I looked over and my top was just that's. My top was just, and there was just.
We need to do a No New Friends podcast trip to the beach.
No.
What do you think about that?
I will show up in a wetsuit.
Scott's like, I'm busy that day. Never mind.
All right, when we come back, we've got an awesome interview with our brand new sponsor from the law offices of Kaufman and Lind. We've got Jeff Kaufman. It's a great interview. Very, very funny because he does so many things. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, looking for another way to listen to the No New Friends podcast? We are now featured on Glacier FM. That's GLACER FM.com. Just go to the music channels and go to Glacier Underground. That is Glacier, GLACER. And you can hear us Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, that is GlacierFM.com.
Hey, it's Dane from Big Beautiful Diz. If you haven't heard of my YouTube channel already, it's all about theme parks. Theme park history, theme park reviews, theme park opinions, and interviews with people in the industry or the community. So if you're a theme park fan, head over to youtube.com/c/BigBeautifulDiz and hit that red subscribe button. I'll see you over there, everybody.
Hey guys, comedian James John, and you are listening to the No New Friends podcast.
Welcome back to the No New Friends podcast with Scott, Mary, and Chris. Mary is not here today, but we are joined in studio by an extremely special guest. You hear the ad at the very beginning of the episode. This episode is brought to you by the law offices of Kaufman and Lind, Mr. Jeff Kaufman himself. And let me tell you, he does a lot. He's a Guinness Book World Record holder. That's right. He is licensed to practice law in 18 different states. He's a comic book writer, owns the company Big City Comics, and a stand-up comedian, a local radio personality. Jeff, what is it that you don't do?
I don't know, but I wish that record was for like penis size or something. It just doesn't sound as great. What do? I have a lot of licenses. It's not like, well, got to be straight with you. I'm doing pretty well. You can't say that, man. I feel bad. No, I get to do a lot of nonsense. I do a lot of radio. I do some stand up. I actually am a professional wrestling referee.
What?
I saw that where you almost got hit by a chair or something was
Yeah.
just flung across the ring.
There are certain things you say no to. And I've never learned that lesson. When somebody goes, hey, Jeff, you want to try this? Yeah. Yeah, it's like, yes, man. You have to say yes to everything because the experience, you never want to miss out on it. It's like those guys who turn down, those big actors go, yeah, I turned down Scarface. What? You don't turn stuff down. So when people ask me things, like, hey, Jeff, how do you want to ref some professional wrestling? I'm like, yeah, let's do that. And then I realize I just run for my life. That's basically it. I just run, and they go, "What do you have?" Like Forrest, I just ran, and they come up with weird things. They go, "Hey, listen, we're gonna have you ref a no DQ." Like, what this means? I said, "No Dairy Queen." No Dairy Queen. They go,
Scott doesn't know what that means.
it's a no disqualification.
Okay, what I learned in amateur wrestling, non-professional wrestling, is the referee always gets taken out. For some reason, they love that storyline. Now, have you been part of that storyline where the referee gets taken out?
I get asked if I can take a hit. And the first couple times I said, yeah. And then I realized, no, I don't want to do that. Like this one woman we were walking, she was the heel. Heel means the villain in the match, and she's the heel and she's yelling at me the whole time. And I'm like, yeah, shut up. Yeah, you're done. And, she's pushing on me. Okay. As we're going to walk out of the ring, she goes, hey, can you take a bump? I'm like, yeah, sure. Next thing I know, I'm on my ass with my feet up in the air and she's walking out of the ring and I'm going, yeah, the answer is no. No, I cannot take a bump.
Hey, if you're injured, I know a good lawyer, Jeff.
Yeah, I hear that. That'd be a weird thing. Asking myself questions, that would be great.
Right. So in addition to all these cool things that you do, you do have a main job, a Monday through Friday-ish, which is personal injury law. But before you did personal injury, you had a really, really cool, really high-profile case here in Orlando, and that's, if everybody remembers, the Tigger trial. And Chris, I don't know if you've seen.
It's weird when you put that together, the Tigger trial.
Well, I know,
it's not like the OJ trial.
Tigger, the
Casey, no babies were killed, so Casey Anthony, you're off the hook. I mean, for me, it's what's she gonna do? Sue me?
She'd probably win.
Sue me, sue you. Sue this. No, it's easy to win a case where they don't have anything. That was the thing about Casey Anthony. Everyone's going, it's a travesty of justice. You charged her with premeditated murder. How did the baby die? We don't know. What?
Right. Well,
What? We
That
don't
is
know.
true.
Then what are you saying she did? She did something. We don't like it. She kissed a woman in a bar. Have you seen those pictures? It's terrible. And that's all they had. And they're, Baez is just sitting there looking like starstruck, going, "Hey, did I sleep with this girl?" No, he just had that look in his face, and
Wow.
everyone kept asking the question, how'd she die? What happened? And everyone's like, "Oh, we don't know, but she killed her." Well, how do you know she was killed? Well, we don't know she was killed. What? And the jury's sitting there going, do you have to give us something sooner or later? And then they didn't.
Right.
And that was the end of that. And the state attorney who lost that case wound up becoming a judge.
Oh,
They said,
Right.
"Congratulations, you're the now state attorney, and now you're a judge." I love being able to fail forward. It's such a fantastic country.
Must
we
be
live in.
nice.
Right. Now, Jeff, do you think if the prosecution wouldn't have gone for first degree in that case, if they would have gone for lesser charges, do you think they could have gotten a guilty verdict on that?
Absolutely. They should have done the child neglect. That would have been easy. That would have been guaranteed 5 years. And that would be, they gave her the check charges, the 3 check charges. They ran that consecutive. So that was good. But I mean, it's one of those things that you look at and you're just going, okay, I guess we're doing that. And people do that all the time. And you're going, well, don't you want to prove your case? And they didn't. They obviously just want to say, we're going for murder. We're going for it all. It's like Vegas, all on black, and then it rolls on red. You go, son of a.
Yeah,
And that's what happened. I remember being on CNN. I was actually doing a live broadcast for CNN, and it was for talking about, and this is how great I am. I feel so good about myself sometimes. It was back when everything was burning in Melbourne. I mean, NASA's dead. Everything's going on. And I'm doing this thing about how, everyone's bankrupt and everything else in this huge dead parking lot. And they go, well, we'll save this place. I said, oh, it's going to be privatized. We're going to start, private companies are going to start sending people up into space. And they're going, oh, Jeff, that's ridiculous. Ha ha ha.
Here we
5 years later. And they go, oh my God, the jury's coming back. What do you think, Jeff? Not guilty. But they're going to hit her with the check charges. And they go, Jeff, our experts say otherwise. I said, your experts are morons. Let's do this. And I was standing there and I was like laughing my ass off when that happened. I'm just sitting on live CNN going, am I right? Yes, I'm right. Yeah. Look at me. So I felt cool.
That's
about
funny.
That was fun.
So your big high profile case.
Oh, Tigger. Yeah. That was interesting. The state attorney decided to file charges against my client who had played Tigger in the park for about a year. And like 6 months before, some young lady, like 2 weeks after she left the park, said that a Tigger had grabbed her breast. And they went to talk to my client 6 months later to ask him about it. They said, do you remember when you were playing Tigger 6 months ago and there was a woman you took a picture with? He goes, I take a picture with 30 people an hour for the better part of 6 months. I've taken probably 7,000 photos since then. Here's the deal. You touched her. What you mean, put my arm around her? No, you touched her. And all she it'll be all over. Just say you're sorry. Write an apology letter. So my client writes his apology. Listen, I don't remember you, but if anything happened, I'm terribly sorry. It was not my intention. I just don't remember. Blah, blah, blah. Congratulations. You're handcuffed. You're arrested. And I'm going, oh, wow.
Because he admitted to it.
And that's all it took. Hey, listen, apologize. You can even say you don't remember, but that's good. Well, he admitted to it. How is that an admission?
Oh, God.
But that's
Right.
And I sat there, and we actually had to go to trial. And in the closing, the judge had allowed a lot of stuff in I didn't like, and said, well, you could do a demonstration at the end of your case or whatever.
Chris, this is brilliant.
Yeah, he tried to cut me off in the middle of my close. You got 2 minutes left in your closing. My client's looking at 15 years, and I've been talking for 6 minutes. And normally it's an hour, 2 hour closing. And suddenly he decided that 15 minutes was going to be enough. And I said, really? Okay. And I start putting on the Tigger costume. And he's like, what are you doing? I said, you said I can do a demonstration. And before I know it, I'm fully Tiggered up, and I'm talking to the jury. And I'm walking back and forth dressed as Tigger, doing my closing in the Tigger costume. And it doesn't hit me how probably stupid this was. It would have been really stupid if they would have found him guilty. That would have been the one. But there's a fine line between brilliance and stupidity, and it's called the win.
Right.
That's with everything.
Oh, man.
Nobody ever goes, that was the stupidest thing I ever saw. Congratulations on your millions. Nobody ever says that. But if you lose by doing something stupid, it's always, the biggest, dumbest thing ever in history. But if you pull it off, they're going like, hey, you know what an idea? How about we build this big wooden horse? We put all our people in it and we just push it right up to the gate. That's genius. Could you imagine they just unload with a cannon into that horse and just destroy it? They go, dumbest thing I ever heard. You know, you'd be calling the Trojan horse like a bad thing. Oh, don't pull a Trojan horse. So it's all about the W sometimes, right, guys?
Oh yeah. Do you still have the costume? Because I would have like stuffed that.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't mine. It was Disney's.
Wow.
Yeah. And I love Disney. I love Disney. I love everything about it.
Well, they love you.
They tried to keep the costume out. They hate it. No, they do. They really do. They're like going, oh, that guy. You know, if you Google Kaufman and Tigger, there's that picture.
It made national news, him putting on the Tigger costume.
They tried to keep the costume out, and they go, we're going to set a hearing and everything else. And the judge goes, yeah, the Disney Council wants to set that hearing for Wednesday. I said, yeah, I agree with it. He goes, the trial starts on Monday. I agree with that too.
Oh, man.
So that was the end of that. You know, sorry, we can't have this motion now because we're actually in the trial. So that was that got a Disney attorney fired. I felt bad for that. But then, you know, what can I tell you? Somebody will go, you know, you set that motion in the middle of trial. That's stupid. You know, so that's the way that works.
What you don't realize, Jeff, is that you ended someone's career that day because the opposing lawyer lost to a guy in a Tigger costume. Like he's never living that down.
You know, in my opinion, I didn't like the guy. I really don't. I still don't like him. I mean, you know, I've walked past him like twice, and I guess when he worked at the state attorney's office, every birthday they would like load up his desk with like Tiggers and stuff like that.
No.
And I love every time he sees Tiggers, he sees that big L. You know what I mean? Because nobody deserved an L more than that dude.
Oh, man.
I mean, he pushed it with that judge, and that judge looked over at me, and he allowed everything in. He goes, hey, listen, you know, I need to get elected. You're going to have to win on appeal. Because that's the kind of stuff this guy did. He was, you know, basically threatening the judge, that he would dump the case and blame it on him if he didn't allow this in. And the judge no judge wants to hear, oh, yeah, I lost a molestation case because, of evidence that I wasn't allowed to get in. The judge made a mistake. You know, this guy's thinking about his career. He's not, while the prosecutor was just thinking about, you know, being selfish. It wasn't put into perspective that this was a life. And I had already proved earlier that the guy didn't do it. But he just wanted that. He wanted that fame. And he went on Anderson Cooper. That was the best moment ever. I'm doing Anderson Cooper, and I'm just trying to close it out. And Anderson goes, Jeff, let me read a quote from the prosecutor. You know, and I'm going, I got the W. I got to hear from this loser now. And it said, the jury was not amused by blah, 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 and his antics and da-da-da. And Anderson said, what do you got to say about that, Mr. Kaufman? And I go, I won, he lost, I'm here, he's not. What do you want me to say? And yeah, we're going to go to commercial, and screw you, Anderson. So,
wow.
You know, yeah,
That's
I flicked that mic right at the camera, and I was like, stick it up, you know.
That's amazing.
So Jeff,
that's the problem with the media.
Mm-hmm.
After that case, you know, you got a lot of national attention. You know, I still see videos of the crazy lawyer who put on the Tigger suit. Is that what kind of opened the door for a lot of your entertainment ventures? I mean, you've got your own radio show now. You've been a radio personality now for several years. Your own comic book company. Where did kind of that start, and how does that fit?
No, I didn't get any benefit from that. That was the
Okay.
Tigger trial opened 0 doors. In fact, I was working part-time at Disney at the time, and I loved Disney. I mean, I loved Disney like I loved Oxygen. I loved working there. I was in characters. I had such a good time. I was part of the cult. You know, I loved it. And I get this the minute I come back, because people now knows. They go, "Oh my God, Jeff's a lawyer?" And for 9 years, all I had to do was walk in, you know, whatever I was assigned to, I would be. And I remember that first day walking in, I walked in the parade base, and there was like 200 people getting ready for Spectro Magic Parade. And these guys looked at me like I had just shot their mother. I mean, they were like, you ruined the magic. And I was like, listen, this could have been your brother. This could have been any of us. You know, I didn't do this for the fame. I didn't get paid on this. It's terrible. And 6 months later, they let me know that my services were no longer
Oh, my
No.
God.
I said, we're not firing you. You're not fired, Jeff. We're just not renewing you. I'm going, well, isn't that the same if I can't be here? No, technically, we're just not renewing you. And worst part about it is I had my son and daughter about, a couple months later, And my little nephew looks over and goes, "You got fired from Goofy."
God.
And my mother, mothers have to defend you. And my mother goes, "He was not fired from Disney. Goofy, they just told him they didn't want him back." I'm going, "Is that the same mother?" Only your mother could say that. And 3 months later, I was helping somebody out who was a comic book artist. And I wound up writing his book 2 months later. And that's how I got into comics. So if I never got fired, and I just wasn't asked to come back, as my mother says. If I wasn't let go from Disney, I never would have written a comic book. I never would have done any of these things. And trust me, people are not hunting you down. Hey, you put on the Tigger costume. You're my lawyer. No, the people, yeah, that doesn't happen. I can't wait for you're so serious.
It's funny that you say that because I just heard on an episode of your radio show Under Oath where you're talking about
Under Oath, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly which episode, but it was, so you were saying that people call you because of some of the crazy things you've done, either after you're refereeing a match or something, and they're like, "I want him to be my lawyer." Like some of the silly things you do gets you referrals.
Well, the thing about this way, if I just did commercials and said, "Hire me, I'm great," I come off as one of these douchebags. For me, I'm out in the community. I'm taking people to the movie. I want to be part of what's going on in our world. And if you like me because of that and you choose to hire me before that, then fantastic. I mean, I have this argument with people all the time and they're going, "Well, how do you have time to practice law? You do this." I said, "You think I play golf?" I mean, do you really think that twice a week I'm out there smacking a ball on 200 of the most wasted acres on the planet? And you're upset because every other month I referee professional wrestling on a Sunday? You think that's eating my time? And it's so hard and people go, "Oh, no, we love you, Jeff." Because it is a skill. And when you do stand-up comedy, that's a bear. That is the worst job in the world.
Yeah.
And people go, "I love doing stand-up." You liar. You go, there's nothing worse than bombing. Oh, it's the worst. But as long as Waffle House still exists, I'm good. 'Cause when I bomb, I head directly to Waffle House. It's great. I'm like, All-Star Special.
Yeah, I heard you and Ryan talking about that, where Ryan punishes himself if he doesn't do well. You punish yourself by taking yourself out to eat at the Waffle House.
By getting fatter. Yeah, that's my goal.
Right. Chris, something that Jeff does for the community, because he's very active in the community, not just a local radio celebrity and all that, but anytime one of these epic movies come out, these nerdy epic movies, the Marvel movies, DC movies, he hosts, he buys out a theater and hosts a party, and it's free tickets for people who email him. When did you start doing that, Jeff?
When the big Marvel movie came out, Endgame, the theater was sold. All the theaters were sold out, and I was going, "Well, that sucks." And then somebody goes, "Well, maybe you can buy a theater." I go, "How much does a theater cost?" And they gave me the figure, and it was a mortgage payment, but I was like, "Hold on, I can buy the whole theater." And I bought the theater. And I remember that moment when the whole theater is lit up. Everyone's excited as hell. I'm a new Uber geek. I write comic books. And I look up and I see a sea of people. And I'm going, "Oh my God, I did this." And they go, "Jeff, could you say something?" I'm going, "Oh my God, I'm supposed to speak?" And I looked up and it was the best moment ever. It's the ultimate geek moment. I looked over and I said, "How's everyone doing?" And it was just so weird because I'm staring at it. "We're doing great." I said, "Let me explain to them. This movie is sold out for 3 straight days. Nobody can find tickets, but not you motherfuckers. You motherfuckers are seeing this movie for free. You motherfuckers are eating food. You motherfuckers got have a great time. And all I got to say is, I love you all." And I walk up the stairs and my daughter is sitting to the left of me, and she was like, I think 12 at the time. And Russ Rollins is sitting to the right. I go to sit down, and Russ says to me, Russ goes, "Your daughter just said the Oscar goes to." And
you said that the Tigger trial didn't open any doors for you, but it actually opened a door for me. I have a business opportunity for you. You it's hard to be a lawyer, hard to advertise to certain communities. How do you do that? Well, listen, I think you could be. You ever hear of the furry community?
Yes, I trust me. What are you laughing about?
Yeah, come
That's
on,
a legitimate thing.
This is for real.
Look at you, Scott. You were a professional furry in high school. I know what you did.
I was. You're right. I was.
Jeff, you could be a furry icon.
I was a professional furry though. I was, at Disney. I call that a professional furry because I got paid. But I support the furries. I really do, because I do a lot of comic book conventions. And these guys were right across from me, the National Association of Furries. I think that's what the name was. And I sat there for like 5 days and I had questions. Oh man, did I have questions? And I go, I got to ask. And my people going, you can't go over there. You're going to offend somebody. Shut up. I'm asking. And I stroll across and I said, listen, I'm not that observant a person. How do you tell the difference if it's a girl or a guy in the costume? And the woman, without missing a beat, looks at me. She goes, it's in the gait. And I'm going, you mean like a horse? You know, like the way they walk? Yeah, it's the way they walk. I said, I'd be a terrible furry. And you know something? I'm a straight dude, but I could imagine getting in one of those cuddle piles and reaching around and finding something I didn't expect. And I'm just too polite. You know, I'd have to go with it. And I don't know. That would be my last furry adventure. I'm going, it was a dude. You know, well, but not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just, you know, like I said, I'd give him the reach around. I mean, I'd be nice to him. You know, I'd feel bad about it. I wouldn't want to ruin hurt his feelings. What happened? The Tigger guy jacked me off. You know.
You were like the original furry, though. If you think about it, like you were there. With them.
I was the king of the furries, man.
One.
My people.
Yes, you know. I think you should advertise that more. That's what I'm saying. You could be the furry lawyer.
Could you imagine the back page of Furry Incorporated? That'd be cool.
It's you in the Tigger outfit.
Forget the Orlando Weekly. I'm in the, you know, I'm doing Furry today.
We'll talk.
You know, we'd like to interview Jeff Kaufman. Yeah, I'm into it. I'd be going, you know, but it's the whole cost of dry cleaning that I'd be upset about.
Well,
I go, how much that $200? God bless. You know, how much for a blouse? You know, I'd be going to the $1.99 trying to sneak it in, going, does this count? No, Jeff, it doesn't. Because those things get mad at, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't even want to imagine.
I have friends of mine who are furries, and they walk up to me at conventions, and they're upset that I can recognize them in their fur. And I'm going, I'll look over, Kevin, and he goes, and he gives me the look. How did you know? I don't know. It's in the game. I know the lingo. It doesn't mean I know what the I'm talking about. So no. I think in today's world, everyone's so worried about everything.
Yeah.
You know, we're actually wide open right now. When they talk about, this country's never been worse, we have the best civil rights available right now. I mean, come on. We had gay rights completely pop in. So now we have that as a protected class. I mean, what isn't protected? I mean, basically, you know, outside like screwing kids, I mean, we're absolutely okay. No, fat people are tough too. Fat shaming isn't good.
No.
You know, come on.
Right,
I mean,
but
look at Lizzo.
We're not protected.
Oh, look at Lizzo.
That's true.
That's as protected as it gets.
It's true.
I mean that Lizzo has a lot happening there, and everyone's like, woo! You know, in the 80s, people would have gone, ooh. You know, now we're woo. And I support Lizzo. I think she's a talented young lady. We don't care what you look like anymore. I mean, remember, if you really want to take 20 years and go, what was the hot thing? You got Britney Spears in a schoolgirl outfit 20 years ago. Now Lizzo in the same outfit.
That's true. I never thought of it that way. I never thought of it that way.
I was at a country concert and Nelly was singing. Must Be the Money.
At a country concert.
It was very weird because it was at a country concert. It was one of those 3-day things. Yeah. And 70 people in cowboy hats are screaming, must be the money. I was going, our country is not as bad as we think it is. Okay? 70,000 rednecks screaming, must be the money. We're okay. Okay, you know,
it's the little
people got to stop clicking like and not like. You know, don't be angry. Tom Holland actually did something, and he goes, listen, I can't handle it. I got to get off social media. It makes me sick. And I was going, really? Tom quit social media, and not like the way people quit. I'm leaving because you are mean. He left because he goes, listen, I can't stop. I see something bad about myself, and I feel like shit. I'm going, me too, Tom. Me too. So, I mean, Tom was just reading too much negative stuff about himself. And could you imagine being that big and somebody goes, you know, your Spider-Man sucks. Well, I just made 1.8 billion and I suck. And he thinks he sucks. That's how bad it is. We are so confused by the nonsense that we actually make ourselves feel worse. The dude closed out at 1.6 billion and he's questioning how good he is. You know, just saying. I mean, it's just one of those things. You're just like, okay. You know, we live by this stuff. You know, I get self conscious about this stuff sometimes because depending where you're at, the light hits my melon in a certain way, and I realize I didn't have as much hair as I did when I was like 20 years ago, And you're going, God, what's wrong with this hairline? And you go, well, I got to put the camera higher. I got to move to the left. You got to do. Just say what you need to say and get the off the show.
Brutal,
I mean,
man.
that's the way you should do things.
People are brutal.
Yeah.
Before you go, because I know you got another radio show to do.
I
so you got a
don't. You're
brand-
the only thing I have. You're all that's important to me. I'm not cheating.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. You
Lying
just started a new
bastard.
project, Under Oath, on Real Radio 104.1 and now on all streaming platforms. And
Yes.
what I love about this show
And your mama's
is-
bedside. No, it's the first
What
time
I
I
love
came up
about
with that.
this-
I like that.
I like that.
Good for you.
Writing that
Good
down.
for you. My mom listens. I'm sure I'll get a
I
call.
got the show. It's on every podcast and your mama's bedside. Okay. I haven't made a mama joke in like 30 years.
Hey, it
That's
worked.
fantastic.
It worked.
Yeah, I know. 1992 called. They want their humor back.
Yeah. What are you
So-
talking about? Rerun, Raj. I'm into it.
You think it's going to be a law-based show, and it is. But law-based show, law podcast. What interest is that to me?
Yeah. of course it
Right,
should.
right. One, you're a brilliant host. Two, you've got a brilliant co-host
Thank
in
you.
Ryan Brian Holmes from The Monsters.
Thank you.
But you interview these amazing guests and kind of tie in different law aspects. The first episode with the guy from Pete and Pete, where you're talking about the pension.
I love the Barney
and
guy.
then-
I had Barney. I love that.
Yeah,
The guy
yeah.
who plays
then the
Barney. He was a professional furry. You talk about the
He
king
was a
furries.
professional
That's good.
furry.
Barney. Yeah.
the sketch artist from the OJ
Yeah.
trial, and then someone
Yeah.
associated with the Trayvon Martin case. I mean, it's just a brilliant show.
I love my guests. My guests are ridiculous. And I go, I got to do Adam Richmond from Man vs. Food.
Oh, cool.
That was the best. And now Adam and I are working on a comic book.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's
wow.
awesome.
But I love my guests, and I do the pre-interviews with them. So I do 30 minutes the day before or something. And I got to do Samantha Brown from the Travel Channel.
Oh, cool.
You know, the woman who got to do everything, got to be in the best hotels and everything.
Oh, very cool.
And I'm probably the first one who said, I got to be straight with you, Samantha. I don't like you. I don't like you. I'm just, I got a weird amount of jealousy for all the cool stuff you got to do, and I'm not going to pretend I like it. I don't like it. Some days I just don't
Hey,
like it.
Jeff, who's your
And
dream
she was
guest?
like laughing.
I'm sorry, I cut you off, but I you have all these cool guests
Oh,
already.
no,
Who's
don't
your
worry about it.
Who's your dream? Like,
The dream guest, OJ.
Okay.
Wow. And if anybody can get that interview, I'm sure you can.
I'd love to get OJ. And see, I don't ask questions like regular people.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think it's a huge waste of time asking the same questions everyone else asks. So that's why I go around things. I ask the questions I want to ask, not like, so how did you start this? What is your origin story? Pound sand, dude. Give the question people want to hear. Like I asked Adam, I was like, Adam, there had to be a place where you got there and you're going, I'm not filming this place. This place is gross. And he was like, yeah, there was. and he went off, and I'm going, that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear perfection. I want to hear the stuff that nobody wants to hear about. And OJ, I would go, dude, come on. What's it like when you walk into a room and you can feel somebody hates you? I mean,
Yeah.
Wow.
it must just be, you're just sitting there going, when somebody's walking up to me and you're thinking, does he have a gun or a pen for me to sign something?
Right.
Besides at a furry convention, where can our listeners find you if they want to listen to Under Oath? If they want to even call you to be your lawyer?
Well, there's whenyounneedus.com. Here's the easiest way to do it. If you go to therealjeffkaufman.com, you'll have all the links and the bios and everything. But Under Oath is literally, if you say, Alexa, Under Oath with Jeff Kaufman. I love doing that because everyone's
Yeah.
Alexa just went nuts. You can listen to all the episodes. And we're on every podcast plus your mama's bedstand. And if you want to hire me as a lawyer, for accident or anything else like this, I'm actually licensed in 18 states. So throw a dart. If you're in a state, you got a good chance I can represent you.
Pretty cool.
And that's at whenyouneedus.com.
Awesome.
But I love being on the show with you guys. I'm sorry Mary wasn't here.
Jeff Kaufman, thank you so much for being here. Jeff's going to try to come on once a month whenever we can try to schedule it. We're going to try to throw some legal advice at him, some funny legal advice, nothing too serious,
I'll come visit just like your period. It's great.
There you go. There you go.
All right. The way to walk out the door clean, guys. All right.
Right? Yeah, there we go. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast. We'll be right back.
Lizard people, the moon landing, birds aren't real. Hi, this is Chris from the No New Friends podcast, and if you're hearing this message, you were selected to join the resistance. For as low as $1 a month, join our Patreon and help us uncover the truth. Upon joining us, you will be invited to our secret Discord, where we help spread these truths. You will be invited to watch our live recordings where the government cannot interfere. For more information, please send a messenger pigeon to my underground bunker or visit us at www.nonewfriendspodcast.com. This message will self-destruct in 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Remy, from Remy's Roundtable. Remy's Roundtable is a podcast for all of our listeners who would like to know what's going on here in the beautiful state of Florida, whether it has to be the Florida theme parks, the Florida sports, and of course we cover your top Florida headlines. We also bring the 5-Minute Professor every single month to give us our lecture and quiz on any topic that we would like to learn. So guys, do not go anywhere. You are listening to the No New Friends podcast.
This is the No New Friends podcast, and I am Carlos Alberto Navarro, bro. Listening to No New Friends podcast, and I'm out, bro.
Welcome back to the No New Friends podcast with Scott, Mary, and Chris. Now, Chris, you've never really had a job. You've kind of worked for yourself, parents, you own businesses, right?
Yes, yeah.
So have you ever gone through a drug test type situation?
No, because I would be the one that would have to issue the drug test, so I choose not to do that. Although I don't do drugs, I just don't like, peeing in a cup. I do have a funny drug test story real quick. Hold on, I will, the only time I ever did get drug tested was every year I have to take a physical for my commercial driver's license. I usually go to the doctors. And this time I was like, you know what, let me go to this chiropractor who does the, he's certified to do the physicals. Never again. First of all, I go in there and we're talking in his office. There's no examination room. I'm in his office, right? And he said, all right, you're going to go pee in this cup. Normal, drug test stuff. So I go in, I pee in the cup. First of all, always embarrassing if your pee's just even a little bit yellow, because he just knows you're not hydrated. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing to not be hydrated.
Listen, sometimes, because I go straight from coffee to Diet Coke, sometimes that comes out brown. It's like really unhealthy. Like I do that.
And for our listeners on Glacier FM.
So the story gets better. I could not believe this, and I had to talk to someone about this after to see, because they went there too, to see if they did it for them too, and it's just something he does. I come back in the room at a doctor's office. You leave the pee in the on the top of the toilet. They come in, they do whatever they do to it, and you don't see what happens. This guy, I was like, hey, where do you want this? He's, I'll take it right here. We sit down at his desk, and he just puts down a paper towel, opens up the thing, no gloves, puts in one of those like pool test strips in there, wiggles it around.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Lays it on the paper towel on his desk. Then I see him just ever so slightly wipe his hand on his pants.
Nope. No.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that happened.
Wow.
That happened. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I didn't go back there. Didn't go back to that place.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
My experience was different. Mine was more intense.
More intense. I don't know if there's anything more intense. He made eye contact with me while he dipped.
While he swirled.
I can see that. So, do you like jazz?
Okay, so I knew that I needed to do this drug test, this drug screening for my new role. I had a normal doctor's appointment before that. So in my head, I was like, all right, just go ahead and don't use the bathroom, sit through your normal appointment, go pee in this young cup, and everything's going to be fine. My doctor's appointment, of course, ended up lasting twice as long as it should have. So I really, really had to pee already. And I was like, no problem. This is going to be great. walking, peeing in the cup. It's going to be fine. I get there and she's like, hey, actually, it's going to be about an hour and a half late.
No. Just to pee.
so-
That's how long the line was
Yes.
at the women's
because
room?
they sent me to a specific place and I have like this sheet and it's already a little, I don't know why it's embarrassing that I'm like, hey, I'm here for a drug test. Like, like whisper it, like, I don't want anyone to know. But it's also weird because I know I'm going to fail it. I knew it going in there and I wanted to almost explain because I don't know, like if they're, it's
Hold
not
up,
'cause
are
I
you
do
token
drugs.
up and you didn't tell me?
No,
Like,
it's
what are you,
not
a
that.
poppy
No,
seed
no,
bagel?
no. Bagel.
Are you a pothead fucker?
Okay, listen. I don't do drugs. It's just that I do drugs. Okay, like it's not my fault. And
You're
so
a victim of circumstances.
I'm a victim of circumstance, man. And so I'm just like sitting there in my own thoughts, thinking, and I'm like, all right, you know what I should do with my hour and a half time? Let me go ahead and email the screening
Listen to episodes that
employer
you're
place.
not on.
No, not that. I would never. And let them know, hey, who should I send my medical records to? Because I believe there are some medications in my system that may interfere with the results. I didn't want to be like, it's gonna pop positive, my dude.
Now, Chris, here's the interesting thing. In the state of Florida, they assume that we're all going to test positive for meth, so that's okay. As long as it's nothing else, you're fine.
Yeah. So I was like, I wonder what they are testing for. So I looked at it and I was like, oh, I check all the boxes. This is great. I actually don't. That's a lie. So I wait, and the lady's very
Polk
nice.
County strong.
Yeah, it's me. I got a T-shirt and everything. So
Speaking of T-shirts, I just ordered really cool "Greetings from Gambia," the Smiling Coast of West Africa No New Friends podcast shirt, and that's on our website. Just check that out. Go ahead, Mary.
Now I understand why Aunt Hesh was on so many drugs. Because I'm probably going to pull one of those fast moves here in a moment if you continue with such dialogue, sir. That was dark. Cut that out. Okay, so I'm sitting there. I email them and I'm like, hey, man. And then I'm just sitting there and I was like, man, I drank a lot of Diet Mountain Dew this morning. Wonder if that's going to show up. Like just thinking about all the things that they may know. And then they call my name and I was like, oh, it's my turn. It's my time to shine. I get in there and they lock all of my stuff up. I didn't have a lot of stuff. I had my keys and my little
So you
wallet
can't
thingy.
cheat. Like you can't bring in like someone else's.
They they locked my stuff up and then they like basically like patted me down a little bit. I had to wash my hands in front
So
of
you're
the lady.
saying I'm
and
in
then,
the wrong profession.
basically, yeah. Look, I don't know if you've ever washed your hands in front of a healthcare professional. But I had to be on stage. Like I was like scrubbing in there. I want her to know. I'm like, I am a good citizen. Look at me. I care.
And
so
they're judging you for properly.
Probably.
Are they properly washing their hands? They're
I don't know.
singing "Happy Birthday" twice, counting to 20. You didn't get underneath the fingernails.
Yeah, you got to do the thumbs too. I don't know if you know that move. You got to do the thumbs.
Oh yeah, and then you got to do like inside the palm of your hand with your fingers, so you get underneath the fingernails and all that. The wrists.
The wrist, yeah. Don't forget the wrist. So then I go in and she's like, "Don't flush the toilet." Okay, but I also hadn't peed for 14 days. It felt like
Yeah, it's about to overflow
and she marked,
that toilet.
Well, she marked on the cup where I needed to fill it to. I overshot the mark. Just a little, and I realized I was doing it, and I was like, "Oh my god, am I allowed to pee in the toilet because they have this blue fluid in there?" It looked like blue Jello. I didn't know. It looked like, remember the Kool-Aid
Don't eat that.
squeezies
Whoa.
or jammers, like that color of blue? That's what it was. And so I was like, I'm just going to have to do it because that cup was I filled the cup. And so I just kept going and going.
I knew 2 girls who filled up a cup once.
Can we all watch that sometime for content?
Yes. And then I'll put the reaction video on.
No.
Yes.
Anyway, continue. You filled
So I leave and she like has me give it to her. Like I had to give her my cup of urine. It wasn't yellow, so I was very proud of that,
thank
Chris. I'm
goodness.
really,
Good for
it
you.
was great. I felt good about that. And
Yeah,
as
you
I'm
should
there,
because you
before I
drink more
even-
Diet Coke than I do.
No, I've turned a new leaf. I drink a lot of water now.
Wow.
Wow, I know. But before, I should have mentioned, before I used said cup, she had me check the integrity of the package it came in to prove that it had not been tampered with. And then she had me check this little package thing to make sure it was fine. And so
Jesus,
I was
what
like,
are you
yeah,
taking
everything looks
like?
good.
What are you taking a drug test
Listen.
for? Are you like joining the Secret Service or something? I mean, like,
Maybe.
what
Can't
in
tell
the
you.
actual F?
Listen. So then I had to sign disclosure saying that everything, like they didn't, neither of us like cheated on this. They didn't tamper with it. I didn't. And then she opens up the foil thing that I said wasn't tampered with. And it's like the actual test. You see strips like attached to it and she locks it on and turns it. And immediately my heart sank because she was going to know that I failed. She was going to know. She was going to know. And I didn't want her to see my face while she knew.
But at least you didn't have to go home wondering if you failed. At least,
I already know,
instant
but I already
results.
knew. No, but they don't tell you. You want to know what they do? They seal it on and they say, good day to you. And they have you leave as they load it into the thing that's going to read it and give them the report. So I know that she's going to know.
Tell you what, a doctor's never said good day to you before. They've done a lot of strange things to me. They've never said.
Yeah, well,
good
she wasn't
day
a
to you.
doctor,
Good
so
day.
that's fine. She was. It was.
She was
rough.
just the nurse.
She was. Yeah, just the nurse. It was fine.
So, Mary, have you gotten the
but they
results
haven't-
back yet?
No, but I emailed the company again just in case they did. And they have done like a full background check. I've seen like they'll send me the report of all the things they found on me and stuff. Not like on me, just like things they've confirmed, like education and work history and all of that. But my drug test is yet to come through, and I'm very nervous. So I'll update you. Maybe. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need a
Okay.
job. It's fine.
Well, I mean, freeloading's working just fine. You're fine. Well,
No, it's
you're
not
a medical.
working fine.
You're a medical professional. What do you mean you don't have a job?
I mean, I kind of am. It's fine. A little bit. It's
I'm
okay.
kind of a pilot. I started playing Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Bro, that game is so hard.
I know.
That's hard.
I haven't
Like the old
successfully
school
landed any
one?
flights, but
That's really hard. Is it like the old one?
no, it's new. I like to spend money on anything I can. So I bought the deluxe version. It was $99.99. I don't understand the uprise in these simulator games, but for some reason I want to try every single one of them. So I've just started this flight simulator game, right? But this was after a 3-month binge of Farming Simulator. You ever hear of Farming Simulator? Farming Simulator, I hate the idea of farms. For some reason, I want to get my virtual hands dirty and plow fields. I want to milk goats. I want to harvest corn. And I'm very embarrassed to say this, but before Farming Simulator, it was, and I kid you not, this is real, and this is an addiction that I had, it was Lawnmower Simulator.
Oh, no, I could understand that. No, because that is very satisfying.
Oh my gosh, tell me
it's
about it.
Instant gratification.
And
see your work.
I live attached to my parents' house, right? So we share the same outside spaces. And I'm talking to my mom about this one day over lunch. I'm like, I'm loving this lawn mowing simulator. And she goes, you've lived here for 27 years and you've never cut our lawn. And so that's why I switched to Farming Simulator.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm hoping because a flight simulator, next time I'm on a flight, I'll talk to a flight attendant and I'll tell you, look, I have by that time I have 6 months experience of flying a 737 Boeing, and she's like, oh, would you like a tour of the cockpit and maybe I can take over and maybe fly a real one.
That's
Good.
terrifying.
Yeah, no,
Do it.
video games are a real life experience. So I'm hoping to use that on my resume to fly a plane, because every Veterans Day I get my free veterans breakfast at IHOP because I served in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. So you can't tell me that experience on video games doesn't exist, because everyone always honors that. No one ever questioned me about it.
They don't ever question.
That's funny. So hashtag share the show. Every time our episode comes out, just share that link on Facebook. Now, Ryan asked an interesting question last week because some of our episodes, maybe you don't want to share it because it's, a little embarrassing. Maybe we're talking about something you don't want to share. So I'm going to let you substitute one episode one time only. So like last week, he didn't share the, what was it called? The dangling the sex carrot, but he shared a different episode. So now he doesn't have any more substitutes left. So I still gave him credit for that. Look, at the end of the day, I just want people to share our show. I don't care. But I'm trying to stick with the spirit of the rules. So share the show, hashtag share the show. That goes all the way until August 31st. And then the journey of merchandise. And it's got to say No New Friends podcast on it. We have a lot of other merchandise, the Got Meth, the Welcome to Gambia, Welcome to Jersey, or Greetings from Gambia, Greetings from Jersey, a bunch of okay, bye. But it has to say No New Friends podcast.
You actually get extra points for that one.
Look, if you get an okay bye shirt,
you get double XP. Chris, do you understand that?
Double XP. Yes, I do. When I served in World at War.
If you pose with the Doritos bag, you get a bit more.
The journey of merch is going to run all the way until the end of the year. That's December 31st. Chris, do you have any cliff notes today?
I do have some cliff notes. So today we started off the show talking about Anne Heche. That turned out to be a total wreck. Just segment went up in flames.
No!
You can't, it's too soon.
Speaking about, car rides, the other day it was really nice out. And when it's nice out, I like to drive with my windows down. And blast, classic rock music. So I put Spotify on shuffle on classic rock. Then a song came on by AC/DC. Never heard the song in my life, but the title of the song brought me back to a really, really dark place. The title of the song was Giving the Dog a Bone. And it instantly just made me think of last week's episode. And now it just makes me question a lot of what you've said to me in the past now that I know what I know. So like when the first time I ever came to your house and on our way there, you said, I can't wait for you to meet my bitch. I was shocked, but I thought you were just using a super derogative term for your wife, not an old English term for female dog.
I love it.
But anyway, back to Anne Heche. So when she died, just like any other celebrity, the headline reads, Anne Heche dead. Then spokesperson says. And I would love to have a spokesperson, but I think just like the front of Anne Heche's house, it would backfire on me. The headlines would just read things like, Chris's debit card declined for third time this week, spokesperson says. And before I go any further with this Anne Heche talk, let's just kill it for the second time. Life imitates art. So
they're going to start calling Mary Anne Heche after that drug test.
That was a good one. I wish I would have put that in.
Thank you, Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan. Lastly, just Scott was talking about how a child pulled down his mother's bikini bottoms at the pool the other day. And, I wasn't going to say this, but Scott did tell me this off air. So, but it. That cost Scott $20 on a popsicle to that kid. But seriously, Scott, seriously, I'm happy for you. Congratulations. You may have just committed a crime, but at least this time it wasn't with a dog.
And that was Chris's Cliff Notes.
Little dark today, but I've been drinking, so that's why.
That was the perfect amount of alcohol.
It was. Yeah, it was.
Oh, man.
Mary's about to lose it over there.
It's just a lot's going on. And like earlier you were saying how as long as I make it seem like it's her idea, then I call the dogs in the room.
Ever since last week's episode, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm just going to start this off with a dog joke, and the whole thing's just going to be dog jokes. But then life happened.
Yeah.
Oh, good times had by all. Well,
Ryan says, who let the dogs out? Wasn't Scott. If you want to know what we're talking about, our Discord chat, and you get invited to our Discord if you are a Patreon member, and you can watch our recordings live and chat with us. And sometimes I use your jokes, but I always give credit to the joke writer. I can't take credit for the joke itself.
I don't.
Hey, it's Alex from Diz His, and unlike the current podcast to listen to, we are looking for friends. So head over to dizhis.com or find us on all social media at dizhis65 or on your podcast platforms, search for Diz His, D-I-Z-H-I-Z. Myself with Joe, Jen, and even Chris. We take a Disney subject every week and go over the history, as well as any information we might know ourselves. Again, find us on any podcast platforms under Diz His.
Chris, what do you have going on Diz His this week?
This week on Diz His, we are going to be talking about Splash Mountain, which is going to be a really fun one because it's going to be a very, a history that not a lot of people know about because Disney has tried to make it go away.
We know a lot about that history. It's called the Civil War, Chris.
So, we're going to be talking about that, and it's, I'm actually not doing the history on this one. Alex is doing the full history, so I'm really excited to learn about this. Song of the South is the movie that the ride was, modeled after, and it's just kind of crazy to me that they made a ride after Song of the South, just knowing what Song of the South was about. Like, so I guess we'll get into, I guess we'll get into that.
Isn't it banned? You can't. Like,
it's like totally not. You can't find. You have to go on the dark web to watch Song of the South.
Ooh, do you know how to get on the dark web? Because I'm interested.
We'll talk after the show.
Great.
I've watched enough of Alex
$20 and a popsicle.
But yeah, so Song of the South. I'm not Song of the South this week. Oh my gosh, Splash Mountain this week. Essentially, Song of the South. Going to be an interesting one. And Alex is writing the history, so I'm sure it will be good.
I can't wait. And there's a Hidden Mickey segment that I did.
There is
found some Hidden Mickeys. So, and there's a lot of Hidden Mickeys in that attraction, and there's some really cool ones, and then there's kind of like some ones. But there's one right outside of the ride. If you go to the Laughing Place sign, right by the Laughing Place sign, there's a little hut, and there's some tubes or some barrels that make a Hidden Mickey. I had a lot of fun today at Magic Kingdom looking for Hidden Mickeys and pointing out Hidden Mickeys because I love Hidden Mickeys.
Yeah,
more fun pointing them out, I'm sure.
On Splash Mountain, a lot of Hidden Mickeys. Also, people don't know there's a lot of hidden racism as well.
You're not wrong. I love the Dorito and Dole Whip episode. That was fantastic.
Did you? Yeah, I actually did the history for that. It was really interesting. If whoever's listening to this, please check that out. Just a quick synopsis. Dole Whip was made for Disney. Doritos were invented in Disney. So if you want to get the story behind that, check out last week's episode. It was a really fun history to do research on, for sure.
And then the week before that, no history, but you did Marvel Phase 5 and a little bit into Phase 6. And it was a brilliant episode. You and Alex killed it. It was good.
I did the history for that one as well. I quote history, But so what I wanted to do is we went through the, phase 5 and 6, but I wanted to kind of tie in like who is Ironheart, who is, some of these villains that are going to be popping up. So I tried to give that little Diz His twist on it. It was a fun conversation. I really did have a good time recording that. It was just me and Alex in the virtual studio, but we did I thought we did a decent job at it. We had a really fun time recording that one.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I was very proud of you guys. And
thank you.
The only disappointment, the only feedback, if I could, and I try not to give a lot of feedback about Diz His, but a little disappointment and some feedback. You did not bring up the bet in that episode. So therefore, there was no crossover. And like, hey, if you want to know about this bet, you have to go back to No New Friends podcast episode, The Avengers Are Done.
I should have pounded that the whole episode just because I know Joe re-listens to those before he edits them, before he does the final touches. And even if it was just for that, that was a huge missed opportunity.
It's all right.
We'll do it for Phase 7 recap.
There you go. If you'd like to connect with Diz His, just check them out on all social media, DizHis65, or their website, DizHis.com. And their episodes release every Tuesday morning. If you'd like to connect with us, just check out our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. While you're there, you can check out our sweet merchandise, including our Greetings from Gambia and Greetings from New Jersey t-shirts. They're super fantastic. I'm also wearing my No New Friends Pride shirt. It's amazing. And also, while you're there, join our Patreon, be a Clubhouse member, a friend with benefits, so that you can watch these live episodes as we're recording them, and maybe make jokes that make it on the air. Also, between now and October 31st, hashtag share the show. Just share the show, share a link of our show each week, and you get entered into a drawing for a $50 Visa gift card. I did purchase Ryan's Outback Steakhouse gift card today. I just have to mail it out. And then also between now and the end of the year, the journey of merchandise, just take a picture of one of our No New Friends podcast shirts or magnets at a really cool place, or have a really cool celebrity wear it and tag us on Facebook, and then you could also win a $50 gift card. On behalf of Mary and Chris, our sponsor Jeff Kaufman, I'm Scott. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.